Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from downtown at the 4 Point Sheraton. Once again, Gene Deckerhoff and head coach Jimbo Fisher.
4 Points by Sheridan. Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Great audience here tonight. We moved ahead today, and everybody remembered, Coach. We got a huge audience here again tonight, as we do normally on our normal night, which is Wednesday. 1-877-99-KNOLS if you want to connect with the coach, or you can tweet a question, hashtag Jimbo, and that's exactly what we have. It's time for the Ask the Coach segment presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Your home for the right stuff, the low price every day. Submit your questions for the coach on Twitter and use hashtag Jimbo, or click on the Ask the Coach button located on Seminoles.com. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Here it is from at AJS Knowles 97. What is your biggest concern with Boston College, Coach?
Well, I don't know if there's anything. It's just that we match their intensity early. I know they're going to be ready to play, and that we can adjust to the different sets they have on offense with the different orthodox looks. They have the 4-man surfaces, the 5-man surfaces, and then defensively being able to establish the line of scrimmage. They're very physical up front. We got to be able to run it and pick up blitzes so we can function, let our skill guys go and make plays. But everything bothers me. Everything.
Boston College is sort of under the radar. Everybody talks about Clemson, Florida State in the Atlantic, Virginia Tech, Miami, and Georgia Tech in the Coastal. But Boston College, year in and year out, they got a string of bowl games going.
And they won 4. And when I got in this league, and I mean this, they probably had the best players in the league. Yeah. They had B.J. Raji, they had Brace, they had Mark Herzig, they had Keekley, the linebacker, they had the second. I mean, they had a ton of really good players. Backs, offensive linemen that just went in the first round of the Steelers. I mean, they had a bunch of guys. And they still, very deceiving, had, I think, 4 guys drafted last year, 4 or 5. I mean, and they beat USC up there last year. In Boston College, they played us very tough. They played Clemson, I think 17-13 in the game or something.
Took
very
last
tough.
Second,
I mean, and dropped a pass in the end zone that could have won it. I mean, this team is a very good team. I mean, Steve does a great job coaching them, and they got good players.
And the year before you became offensive coordinator at Florida State, a guy by the name of Matt Ryan was chunking the football.
Yeah, we played Matt. Yeah, they had Matt Ryan, B.J. Raji. I mean, they have some great players now.
All right.
Really good players.
At AJS Knowles 97, that is the answer to your question. Everything about Boston College, Coach has it on his mind. Have a question from a member of our audience. Go ahead. You've got the microphone.
Hey, Coach. It's Jerry from Tallahassee.
I know, Jerry. How are you?
I'm doing good. First, I have a comment, and that is I have been really excited to see our wide receivers blocking.
Yes.
And particularly Travis Rudolph. I mean, he has been flying down the field, making some downfield blocks. It's been really exciting to see. My question has to do with punting, though, and particularly punt returns.
Yep.
It used to be the hard and fast rule. Your punt returner planted his feet on the heels on the 10-yard line and was not allowed to back up and catch a punt. And if he did, he got chewed out on the sideline. Everybody knew it. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Can you talk a little bit about the change in philosophy?
Because guys are kicking what they call the Australian rules kick, and they're getting that thing to turn over. So guys, when it hits now, if no one's around you, you can let that thing go. But when you're getting from the 50 and those guys are kicking, it's landing on the 9, 8, you might as well catch it because they got guys circling behind you. If you don't, you're going to get it on the 2. I mean, if it's driven or you see it's definitely going out. But with this new Australian rules kick, and like I say, one thing Kaysen does extremely well, that ball, I've never been around, when they hit, they just die. And it's the way they're kicking it now. And if they get circled around you and you're around that 7, 8, 9, you might as well catch it because it's only going to go a couple more yards and you're going to get it down and lose it again. So it's changed. They used to not kick that way. That's only started probably in the last 3, 4, 5 years or so. And you're seeing a lot of kickers come over from Australia, Australian rules football and stuff. And a lot of guys are finding punters that way. And they've taught these kids how to kick it like that, and it's making a big difference.
Okay, Jerry, thanks for your question. If you have a question, you're in the audience. Right here's the microphone. Come forward. Knowles fans, you can win a VIP experience at KnowlesContest.com, brought to you by Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. That's Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, VIP experience at KnowlesContest.com. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheraton, will continue after these messages.
Fire. Some fear it, some fight it. Some break its will and make it do their bidding. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
Every craftsman worthy of the name knows that a job is not complete until the work area is cleaner than when he started. Remembering that everything has its place is a good rule of thumb. Practice makes perfect, and Barry always strives for perfection. Barry may not be cool, but Barry knows cool. Find out more at whatbarryknows.com.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors.
Within our walls, hearts pump as one, beating with passion and courage, making people stronger. At our Heart and Vascular Center, treatment options are reaching new heights with innovative approaches to fix broken hearts, ready as ever to put you back on your feet. Because we know a healthy life is a happy life, and your health means everything to us. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
What does it take for a career in medical assisting? It takes a desire to help people and a connection with your patients. It takes character and caring, knowing that what you do helps someone every day. And it takes a professional education that's been proven over time from a university connected to your community. Kaiser University, a reputation built on over 35 years of career-focused education. Call Kaiser at 1-888-309-4547 or visit kaiseruniversity.edu.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Have a question for the coach? Call 877-996-6537 now. That's 877-99-KNOWLES.
At the 4 Points by Sheridan, downtown Tallahassee. If you're in the neighborhood, we're here normally on a Wednesday night. Tonight, because of team travel, we're here on a Tuesday taking questions. And Jimbo's here on a Tuesday. I had to leave practice at the last moment to get here. But if you have a question or comment, 1-877-99-KNOWLES. And also, you can also tweet at hashtag Jimbo. That'll get your question here. Let's take a look at the Gym collection. Gym stat of the week. And here we go. This is a good one. The Gym stat of the week is the Seminoles have scored on all 11 second-half possessions in the first two ball games, with Everett Golson tossing 5 second-half touchdown passes, and that's tied for the most in the nation. That's a pretty good second half of work, isn't it?
It is. We guys making adjustments and going out and then executing the plan, and even the other guys we put in the game once we got control of the game, those guys are doing a good job. But it's critical that you're finishing very strong. I think that's another good sign of Vic. It got us in great condition. Our guys will be able to execute and do the things we need to do. That
is our Gym stat of the week. The Gym collection, specializing in the finest jewelry and service in Tallahassee since 1977. Ready for some more phone calls, guys?
Let's go.
Let's talk to Chris from Crawfordville. Go ahead, Chris. You're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment as well on the wide receivers blocking downfield, especially Travis Rudolph on that 74-yard run from Dalvin Cook. He ran 70 yards to make a block at the 10 to spring him for that last little bit. And then I also had a question, too. Did you get an explanation at all for the horse collar that wasn't called, and then the issue with Mario Bender not having the whistle blown?
Yeah, I did. I mean, that was – I thought both were very poor, but I'm blind on the sideline, I guess. But I agree. But receivers are doing a good job. If you ever look at that play, too, Kermit was right behind running, and Irwin was already out in front making the block. Those guys – you're making long runs – Dalvin can finish, and he makes guys miss. But those guys are doing a tremendous job, that whole group of guys down the field getting on guys. And believe it or not, we still think they can do better. There's some things in our screen game and some of the things that we can pick up, and when we do, that's really going to help our offense.
Mike in Orlando is next. Go ahead, Mike. You're on the air.
Well?
Yeah, you're on the air, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. Yeah, hi, Jim. I just like to start off by saying that I think the team looks great and that we have a great season, and I love this time of year. And I have 2 questions, if you don't mind.
All right.
First, when I saw Pender, hello?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. When I saw Pender lose his helmet and the play continue, it made me feel sick. I thought this guy's going to get really hurt.
It scared me, too.
I wonder how much must have made you feel and why that whistle wasn't called blown sooner. The other thing is, could you please explain the targeting rule?
Well, It's if you target anything above the shoulders and above, and especially with helmet-to-helmet contact, especially with the top of the helmet, the spearing of the helmet. It's not, and I don't think Brutus's was not intentional. I wish he would have what we call scrape paint, dipped his shoulder and ripped a little bit, but he tried to get, and he was trying to get his shoulder in, but when he leaned, his head got it. Technically, it is. I don't think it was really how it's described, but it is what it is, and they made the call. The other one was, at least they fixed that one, the one on Nate. Nate definitely went low and got his shoulder and even turned his whole body not to do it. And, you can't target anything from the shoulders and above, and it has to be that way. I mean, the guys are so big and so fast, and those collisions are so violent, toward the head that, we're trying to protect those. And the officials, in any doubt, they can call it. But the good thing about it is now all of those are reviewable. And see, it used to be, it's correct. Now, this is how crazy we were. Before, if it was, even though Nate did that, and they would have called the penalty, said Nate targeted, they could have fixed it and left him in the game, but it was still a penalty. Now, I have never figured that one out. We played a whole year like that. Then they fixed it, so if it wasn't targeting, it can't be a penalty. So common sense overruled, and we got it fixed. But, it was just the way we're trying to go through this thing. And protection of players is critical, and, it was unfortunate we had. It's the first one we've ever had.
A follow-up on that same line, Mike, thanks for your Chris, thanks for your telephone call. You kicked out of the game after the targeting, and LaMarcus was kicked out of the remainder of the ballgame. Now
he had to set the second half. No, he can play this half. If he would have gotten kicked out in the second half of that ball game, he would have had to set the first half of this Boston College game. So, like Nate right there, that's what scared me about Nate on the last play. We would have lost him for the whole first half of the Boston College game, and then he would have been able to play the second half.
Okay, let's talk to Bob in Tallahassee. Bob, you're on the air with Jimbo.
Hello, Bob.
Okay, Bob.
hello.
Yeah,
there he is.
Hey, Bob, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Congratulations on the 2-0 start.
Thank you.
My question is, we seem to be a better run-blocking team, not so much on pass blocking. And my question is, do you look to roll him out, Golson out, and use his athleticism to move that pocket to give him more time?
Well, you do, but when you move the pocket, you cut the field in half. And then you even limit his ability to scramble and make plays. We will move the pocket. There's no doubt. You have to change the launch point. We do a lot. We do a lot of nakeds and boots we ran in that game, probably about 7 of them that we ran in that game, and you try to do that. But when you do that, you also limit yourself. But we are a better run-blocking team right now as far as I think our size and what we're trying to do. But I think we've tried to put an emphasis on that, too, because we feel like that was our identity going in. That's where we wanted to go. And we'll develop the run-blocking. And the thing that helps pass blocking, when you can run it and – play action and do the things, and that's what we've been able to do at times and create plays. So we're getting better, but I do agree with you on those comments.
Okay, Bob, thanks for your telephone call. Before we go to break, Jonathan would be very mad if I didn't ask his question. He handed me the note. Right. Jonathan wants to know what halftime adjustments were made versus USF.
Oh, we were brilliant. We did everything. No. The biggest thing, I mean, we went in and talked about the things we could execute, some things they had done a little bit different, what we thought would work. But the big thing is getting the kids' confidence back, calming them down, letting them know that at the end of the day, you ever see Bill Belichick at the end of the Super Bowl? They were down 10 points against Seattle. Did you ever see him walk over to his defense and his offense and say, listen, there are no new plays, there are no new defenses. We have what we have. We have to go out and we have to execute better. We have to get alignment, assignment, technique, play with intensity, play with focus, and do it. And it's about doing your job. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I mean, we make adjustments to what the little game plans are, and we tell them exactly what we're going to do when we go out, try to put them in a comfort zone. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of new things you just magically draw on the board. Occasionally that happens, no doubt. The team's doing something, you draw it up, and it happens. But it's about reassuring and getting guys' confidence back. And it's about psychological coaching as much as in any X and O's that goes on, and trying to get those guys calmed down and being able to go back out and play up to their abilities, and they did.
There you go, Jonathan. There's your answer right there. Next time we want to see you on the microphone, okay? 1-877-99-NOLS. Toll-free number if you want to connect with head coach Jimbo Fisher. A reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designate a driver. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheridan, will continue after these messages.
As head coach for the Florida State Seminoles, I appreciate expertise and quality. That's why I shop at the Gym Collection. Whether I'm looking for a Rolex watch, beautiful jewelry, or need a repair, I can always count on them to deliver. The Gym Collection has an excellent selection and a dedicated team. So stop by the Gym Collection today, the official jeweler of Florida State Athletics.
When it comes to warm, fluffy clothes dried in half the time, natural gas has you covered. Folding is another story. People's Gas. We're delivering the natural choice more Floridians enjoy. Learn how you can earn up to $1,750 in cashback allowances with our energy conservation rebates at peoplesgas.com/enjoy.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors.
We're thinking about switching to CenturyLink. Is Prism TV any good?
Well, yeah, I like it. Prism TV has all the channels I watch, with lots of movie channels in HD. That stands for high definition. You probably knew that. And if you get CenturyLink's wireless set-top box, you can move it here, or here, or here, or here. Yeah! Prism TV has all the things I like about cable, plus a couple of things I like more. Lots of HD channels, great service, and no messy wires. So give them a call and see if you like Prism TV too.
Switch to CenturyLink. Get the Prism Essential TV package with over 140 of your favorite channels and up to 20 meg internet speed. May not be available in your area. Get TV and internet for only $65 a month for 1 year with autopay enrollment.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Have a question for the coach? Call 877-996-6537 now. That's 877-99-KNOWLES.
Back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. 4 Points by Sheridan is where we are in downtown Tallahassee. We've had a lot of phone callers already, some questions from our studio audience, and we're ready for some more, Coach.
Let's go, Gene.
We've got another phone call from
I'm
Alabama
ready.
now, from Huntsville, Alabama. Seminole Rob is on the air. Go ahead, Seminole Rob.
Hey, Coach.
Hello, how we doing?
Good, Coach. Hey, last week I asked you about Florida State being the hunted as opposed, or the hunter as opposed to the hunted, and you said, hey, you know what? Anytime we play, we're going to be the hunted. You know, teams are going to get up for us. And you made reference to you got your show dogs and your hunting dogs. And you said like the hunting dogs. I want to give you my hunting dogs for the week.
Okay.
My hunting dog, of course, I got Dalvin Cook. And
Yep.
I like what White does as DB.
Marquez played an
Heck of a-
outstanding
heck of a
game.
season so far.
He really has. Marquez is really
and,
progressing.
Also, I wanted to tell you who my show dogs were, and then I'd like to listen to see if you could give me if you don't have to, if you want to, but who your hunting dogs and show dogs were. My show dogs were the refs because they just seemed like they were there to be a show because it was a show, Coach. I've never seen player safety and some of the things happen that took place in that game, and I was at home watching in high definition. When the player's helmet goes off and the whistle doesn't get blown for like 10 seconds after it, that's just uncalled for. It's unnecessary. And I hate to do it just because of consistency. Our punter, he's kind of a show dog, Coach. I need him to get those punts downfield. I need them consistently. And those are my two. Who are yours, Coach?
I agree. Cason's he hit 5 really good ones. There was 2 balls that he hit to the middle of the field and were low. The other ones were 40 yards in there, and we've told him that 5 out of 7 were good punts. The other 2 weren't, and he's been hitting better. We've got to continue to grow in that area. But, another guy that keeps playing. Our defensive player of the game was Giorgio Newberry. Another guy behind him that was runner-up was Roderick Hoskins. I mean, playing in there at linebacker. Some of those guys are really developing. We're developing a lot of depth. Josh Sweat is a guy who keeps developing. Of course, I'm talking some new guys here that you haven't heard that we're pleased with a lot of the progress they're making. Of course, Trey Marshall. Remember, Trey Marshall, we lost Brutus. He moved to the back and made all the calls, made all the checks, did all the things there. And, of course, the Tyler Hunter came in. Derwin James is getting much better, feeling more comfortable with the things he's doing. He's going to be a great player. And then some of those young guys on offense, those young offensive linemen that grew up and kept playing. But, just very proud of that whole group, and we'll continue to get better. As I say, the funny thing about football, and the first time I've actually got to watch a little bit of it, everybody out there's got warts. Everybody across the country as I watch. I mean, and that's the thing we remember. We want everything perfect, but, it takes time to develop your team and your identity, and things got to get better. You got to be patient. You just don't start off great right off the bat. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that had tough moments, but that's what football is. The teams that developed during the year. Who thought Ohio State? Remember the middle of the year last year where everybody thought they wouldn't, they had no chance, we're out of it. And they hit it and kept growing. It's the teams that keep getting better, stay true to the process, keep practicing hard, and then come out. Because this is a long show. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon.
All right, Rob from Huntsville. Let's talk to Johnny from Fort Myers. Go ahead, Johnny. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Hey, Coach. Gene, everybody doing all right?
Hey, Johnny. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I got one for you and one for Gene, Coach.
All right.
How is Mario Pender doing, and is he finally healthy? And, Gene, I just thought you might like to know that former Tampa Bay Buck Ernest Graham is in his second year as a head coach down here at North High and doing a good job. And his D-line coach from last year, the Seminole James Chaney, he's now a head coach with LaVon Brown on his staff. And Mario Henderson, Seminole, is down here helping coach O-line at Dunbar High. So the Bucks and the Knowles are stepping up and doing a good job down here in Southwest Florida.
I know everything he talked about is right. I mean, it was great to see those guys. But, yeah, Mario's healthy. He's doing well. We had him intent. That first game played tremendous. I thought he played well in this game. We just didn't give him as many touches. It didn't work out. He had a couple nice runs, and Dalvin got hot in the way things went. But he's huge in our plans. He's going to get a lot of touches and going forward, and he's playing very well for us.
And Johnny, after one of the practices, you had the coaches from all over the state came in for camp this past spring, and I ran into Ernest Graham.
Yep.
He told me he was coaching down there, and he told me he had a bunch of Seminoles. So he's got a bunch of guys there that wear the garden gold proudly working on it.
Yeah, we do. And Chaney, we saw him as a head coach. He came up and he brought all his guys, and they're all doing a great job.
Visit your neighborhood Winn-Dixie store for all your tailgating needs. Winn-Dixie, the official supermarket of the Florida State Seminoles. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show live from 4 Points by Sheridan will continue after these messages.
Every craftsman worthy of the name knows that a job is not complete until the work area is cleaner than when he started. Remembering that everything has its place is a good rule of thumb. Practice makes perfect, and Barry always strives for perfection. Barry may not be cool, but Barry knows cool. Find out more at whatbarryknows.com.
Fire. Some fear it, some fight it. Some break its will and make it do their bidding. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors.
Farmer Rob Watch here. The harvest is ready. Whoa! Now that's what I call a nicer, newer farm. Our car crop is huge, so this month, you pick, you drive. Plus, get up to $5,000 off the ripe and ready car you choose. Rob, what if your credit is rotten? JB, our banks are tilling up approvals even if your credit's brutal. So bring us your old ride and don't worry about being denied. I'm Rob White, and I'm the people's car dealer.
The goal of every employee at Barrett, Fasig & Brooks is to help you get the justice you deserve.
We do this by building a relationship with you so we can understand how your injuries affect every aspect of your life.
At Barrett, Fasig & Brooks, you not only meet your attorney, you get to know us.
In the courtroom, we're fighting for somebody we care about.
And caring about our clients makes all the difference.
Call us if you've been injured and experience the difference.
Barrett, Fasig & Brooks. Personalized service from attorneys who care.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show on WTXL ABC 27. Now, here's the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, and head coach, Jimbo Fisher.
4 Points by Sheridan, taking your questions for head coach Jimbo Fisher at 1-877-99-Knowles. And, Coach, we got more callers waiting to go on a Tuesday night, Coach. Dylan is in Tallahassee. Dylan, you got a question for Coach? Go ahead. Dylan.
Yes, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, Dylan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful, Coach. I'm a huge fan. Been an FSU football fan my whole life. I think you're doing a wonderful job with the team.
Thank
Gene, I enjoy listening to you on the radio when I can. Just a quick question. I heard on ESPN today that they said that we're setting ourselves up for failure by depending on Dalvin too much. What do you think about that? Do we have to limit the touches he gets, or how do we not set ourselves up for failure?
I probably shouldn't give it to him anymore. I don't want him to touch it anymore. Well, I mean, you've had 2 games. I mean, we've thrown first game we threw for 300 yards. The second half, we scored every drive. We threw it, we ran it, we did everything. But you got to have a major guy. I mean, I remember when Herschel Walker played. Did they ever complain about giving to Herschel Walker?
No.
Or Bo Jackson or all the great? I mean, you go back to Sammy Smith. You go back to when you give it to Warwick Dunn. But we have balance. We have thrown the football extremely well. We didn't for one half, but we didn't run it good. We only had one good run in that half, and we still have thrown it well in all the rest of the games. And we'll have balance. And but I'm gonna tell you one thing. It's better having somebody you can lean on than not having somebody you can lean on. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, Dylan. They got to have something to talk about on television nowadays.
Oh, it is. If you say tomato, they say tomato.
Well, and how about for a balance, Coach? You mentioned the word balance. 272 yards a game rushing, 270-some yards passing. So it's about 50-50, isn't it?
Not according to them.
Well.
It is. I mean, it is. Everybody said. I mean, it's just the way in certain games, when you get hot, you give it to the hot guy. That's what we were doing well. That's what was working.
By the way, speaking of rushing the football, congratulations to Dalvin Cook. 2 national awards this week. National Player of the Week in 2 different teams.
Very well deserved.
266-yard rushing game. That doesn't happen every week of the college football season. Vince is in Tallahassee. Vince, you're on the air with Jimbo. Go ahead.
Hello.
Vince?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on, Vince. Go ahead.
Touchdown nose.
Touchdown. There you go.
I like it, Vince.
Go nose.
All right.
I'm with you.
Vince, you're invincible. Let's talk to Eric from Somerville, Georgia. Go ahead, Eric. You're on the air.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Eric. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. Good win, Coach.
Thank you.
I wonder, did you set the play call in the first half for Evan Golson throwing the ball in the second half? We just didn't have things going our way the first half?
We just didn't have him going. Like I say, he would miss a read, but then we'd miss a block. We'd drop a ball, run a wrong route. I mean, just little things. Nothing that was not. It's not correctable. Just out of sync, out of rhythm. And we didn't have a passing game going. We didn't have a running game going. Really, we only had one really big play when you go back and think about it. I mean, at the end of the day, and the big thing was penalties and then getting back behind ourselves in field position. Some special teams penalties, and then a clip on the offense too, and then some positive things. But we'll get things going, and that's kind of how we had to be patient, and they made the adjustments. And of course, second half, I thought he played very well.
From Somerville, Georgia, let's go down along the I-4 corridor and talk to Lee from Lake Mary. Go ahead, Lee. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Hi, Gene. Hi, Coach. Greetings from Central Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee.
Coach, I have a comment and a question. My comment is congratulations on what, to me, appears to be the guys having some great discipline this year with respect to not making personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. It shows me you got the guys coached up, and some of the other teams in the state had trouble with that this weekend, so congratulations.
Yeah, you're right.
And my question for you is, do you anticipate any up-tempo strategy in your offensive plans this year?
Well, yeah, we do, but I think the first thing you got to do is get these young guys comfortable in what they're doing. You have so many. You go back across it. You got a freshman tight end, sophomore left tackle, junior guard, freshman center, sophomore guard, freshman tackle. I mean, when you go across the board with a new quarterback. So from that standpoint, you got to make sure you can go fast, but you got to make sure they can grow into it. But we can go fast and then limit some things down in what we do. But I like where we're going right now. I like the progress. But we will change tempo as those guys grow into what we're doing.
Okay, Lee from Lake Mary, there's your answer. Thanks for your telephone call. The party is downtown on Friday night at Clayman Plaza, preceding each FSU home football game. The FRLA Friday night block party kicks off at 5 o'clock and is presented by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, Tri-Eagle Sales, CenturyLink Prism, and Visit Florida, and Kia Autosport. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel, will continue after these messages.
Within our walls, lives are being changed. Healing is happening. Making people stronger. Where innovations drive the day, a testament to the will and spirit of technology, furthering our understanding of life. But we know your life happens beyond these walls. Courageous people doing amazing things. Neighbors serving neighbors. Where a proud community thrives, vibrant and enduring, laughing, playing. Because a healthy life is a happy life. And your health means everything to us. You are why we're blending advanced technology with compassion and going beyond our walls to rethink healthcare. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
First time that I saw you here, I look up, but you disappeared. Oh, I never did forget the look of you. Oh, the second time.
Any dog will chase a car. But with a range of 535 miles on one tank, only a crazy dog will chase a Prius. Get a low 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2015 Toyota Prius. Toyota, let's go places.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors. Tallahassee Board of Realtors. Benson's Heating and Air. Cars, Trucks, and Credit. Tallahassee Eye Center. And E&B Heating and Air. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by the Gem Collection.
Call-In Show live from the 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel in downtown Tallahassee, and it's amazing how quickly an hour goes by, Coach. We're almost to the top of the hour, almost time to get out of here, but it's always this time of the show that we ask, what are the keys to the game? This team, you always mention turnovers. This team has the fewest turnovers of any team in college football. Last year they were like 7th. They just don't turn the ball over, do they?
Well, we're matching with them. We only have one, but we have none on offense, so that's a good thing we're doing there too. So I think, again, taking care of the ball on the road, which is going to be critical. But I think the other thing is going on the road, dealing with a hostile environment, young guys traveling, getting used to that routine, communication for young guys with noise and all the things that are going on, making sure they speak loud enough, communicate loud enough, whether it's hand signals or whatever they have to do, and just the overall the ability to go on the road and relax and play. You know, but sometimes young guys do a better job on the road than they do at home. Sometimes being at home, as crazy as that sounds, makes them extremely nervous because they want to do well in front of the home crowd. And then as they grow, these are all steps. And, you know, we've played a rain game, played an early morning game, played a tough game, played an opening game. Again, this is the next step. We have to go on the road. And I'm anxious to watch those guys adjust. And then, of course, it's going to go back. Turnovers, big plays, penalties. And, you know, we're doing great in the turnover department. The big plays we'll be able to make. They're getting a few against us on defense, but not a lot. The thing we got to knock out, we had a little bit too many penalties last week.
On the road, what makes a road game so tough to play?
Well, I just think, you know, you're losing. You're not sleeping in your own bed. You're going somewhere else. It's not your locker room. It's not your fans. You know what I mean? But when you really become good, you kind of like it. Mm-hmm. You kind of like it. You know, I mean, the great teams I've been around, as crazy as at times like being on the road more than they do like at home, because they love the challenge. They love the competition. They love to step up and play when, you know, everybody's against them. That's part of competition. But, you know, that's what we've got to grow to, hopefully, with this team. We've had a lot of guys, though, been in a lot of big games on this team. Now, they'll get those young guys ready, and as coaches, we'll tell them up what we're going to do and see how they do.
In that great 2013 season where we won a national championship, beating Auburn, the toughest opponent we played on the road that year was Boston College. They had us down 21-3.
Well, that was 17-3 in that game. You're right. And we come back and got ahead. But now, as far as game-wise now, I mean, but we had some big. We played at Florida that year. We played at Clemson. But they played they played well at home. They really do. They're also a different team. They play a little different offensively. They're a lot more up-tempo, a little more no-huddle, a lot of things they do. But, again, it goes back to communication. which allows them to do that. So, but they're very well coached, and we're going to have to really play a good. This team will be emotionally, physically, and psychologically ready to play, and we better be emotionally, physically, and psychologically ready to play. I plan on having them there, but we've got to go do that, and we've got to match them.
Florida State, Boston College, 8 o'clock. It's on television, on radio. You can tune in, watch, and listen at the same time. Another question about Boston College, Coach. It just seems like we just can't run the ball on these guys. I didn't realize, as I read the Democrat today, and the article said, we haven't had a 100-yard rusher against Boston College since 1980. Mm-hmm. That's a long time ago.
But we scored points.
Well, we did score points. We did score points. Do they take the run away by
design?
They do,
and it's their style of doing things. And, you know, and that's how they play. They bunch the box. They have big guys and allow you to have opportunities to throw the ball. But you're going to have balance on the road. There's no doubt. We have to go do that.
They call Boston College OLU, offensive line U, because they've had so many players go into the National Football League from BC as offensive linemen. Do you see that in this offensive line?
Yeah, big body types, big guys, and big defensive linemen. They've had some great defensive linemen, linebackers too. I mean, you go back in the history of their school, and there's a lot more tradition there than people realize. There's a lot of really good football, and you know. They weren't a team that Florida State played a lot, so you know you're never familiar with those kind of things. But it's great tradition up there, great football, and a lot of guys go to the league from there.
We've played 2 football games, and Coach, knock on wood, we've been relatively injury-free of the major type. Yes. And you're starting to get some players back. Some of the guys that have been injured, are they going to be available, like Chris Casher? And
yeah, they will. Casher we'll see on the day, but the other guys they're getting healthy, and if they're not this week, they definitely should be back for the off week.
Well, the news is good on the injury front. The news is good. The Noles move up in the polls, and we are ready to travel to Boston to take on the Boston College Eagles. Coach, good luck against BC.
Thank you, Gene. See you in Boston.
This has been the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Our Seminole IMG Sports Network crew is engineered by Chris Culp.